So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Friday Night Tech Talk. Let's see if my phone does what it usually does. Not so far. Okay. Brian got in here first, Eleanor right behind him. I don't know that anybody else is watching as yet. As always, I want to let everybody know that I'm broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook. On Facebook, you can go to either. There goes my phone. And Facebook. Okay, on Facebook, you can find me at Mobile Geezer or at George Hayes. Unusual week. I believe this is the first week in a very long time that I have no phone stories at all. So I tried to come up with stuff that I thought might be interesting. Let's see, Mark Sequence is liking my tweet. Okay. So I guess I'm going to get started. Let me show my website like I always do. Of course, you can hit the link in the description to take you to the show notes, which is on my website. But let's see if I can share the screen. Okay, and there it is. My website is mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. And if you click on the first story, it'll have today's date on it. So let me stop sharing that. And we'll see who else comes in. Now, of course, as usual, I don't know if Mike or Will or Ted or Mark Sequence will join, but I sent them all the links, so I will try to catch it if they come in. So let's get on with our first stories. And I guess you probably saw at the top of the website, I started with more metaverse news. It seems like all these big companies are getting all excited about the metaverse. So I figured, all right, let me start with that and share two more companies that are jumping into the metaverse. And in case you're not aware, Mark Zuckerberg was not the first one to come up with the metaverse. He named his company Meta. But I gather the metaverse has been around for a few years already. So let me go share this screen. I guess they want us living in a virtual world. Okay, share. Okay. This first story was on digital trends. And Unity just made a blockbuster purchase with massive metaverse implications. And the story is by Giovanni Colantonio. Giovanni Colantonio. You'd think being raised with all the Italians I was in Jersey, I'd be able to say that better. Okay. So I'm going to take it over to Reader View. We can get rid of some of those ads. Okay. Unity, the 3D development platform used to create video games, has entered an agreement to acquire Weta Digital, the visual effects studio behind films like Avatar, Lord of the Rings, and more. The $1.625 billion purchase is a massive move with serious metaverse implications. The two companies have entered a definitive agreement which will see Unity acquiring Weta's tools, pipeline, technology, and engineering talent. Unity will gain proprietary graphics and VFX tools that have been used to make some of Hollywood's biggest movies, and it plans to make them available to creators down the line. While Unity will gain the tools, Weta's VFX teams will continue to operate as a standalone entity called WetaFX. Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson will remain majority ownership of WetaFX alongside CEO Prem Akaranju. Hope I said that right. A press release about the deal shed some light on Unity's long-term goal here, shaping the future of the metaverse. The metaverse has been a hot topic in recent weeks thanks to Facebook, or Meta as it's now known. The company changed its name to emphasize its focus on building the metaverse, a more lived-in digital space. While Meta fired a very public shot, the concept of the metaverse has already existed for years in the video game world. Companies like Epic Games have led the charge, using games like Fortnite to get players used to spending more time in virtual space with its own currency, events, and more. Unity's Power Play is another key example of how serious the video game world is about creating the metaverse. The acquisition will give Unity users access to more powerful 3D tools that can be used to make more sophisticated video games, but the potential stretches far beyond entertainment. Weta's tools could be used to create powerful digital experiences that accelerate metaverse efforts by giving creators the power to shape it. Unity and Weta have only entered an agreement, so the final acquisition still needs to go through. That means it'll be a while until we see the full effects of the deal, but it's a major move that's likely going to impact video games, movies, and just about every digital space. So Meta is a big deal, so I just thought I'd start with it and continue with some Meta stuff from last week. Okay, let me stop sharing. Yo, Vince, glad to have you here, brother. Okay, no phone stories this week, but hopefully some interesting stories. So I'll show you the title again. I just went through the story. I'm starting with metaverse stuff again this week. Now, why is that flashing like that? Let me stop. Let's try it again. Yeah. So Unity, which is a development platform for games, just acquired Meta for $1.625 billion. So they're very serious about their metaverse. So I'm going to move on to the next story, and I'll try to watch for anybody else saying anything else in the comments. And I've got one more metaverse story, a little bit more well-known name here. Okay, so let me go share that screen. Let's get rid of this ad. Okay. So, and this story was over a week ago. I just never shared it, but I figured since I'm doing metaverse stuff this week, Microsoft enters metaverse with Mesh for Teams and Dynamics 365 connected spaces. And you can see the picture. They want us in a virtual world. I guess they want us to spend most of our time in a virtual world. But anyway, this is more for business and less for gaming. So these people are really serious about their metaverse. So this was by John P. Mello Jr. And let's see if I can put on Reader View to get some of these ads out of here. Okay. Microsoft offered a glimpse of the metaverse in the Enterprise Tuesday at its virtual Ignite conference with the announcement of Mesh for Teams and Dynamics 365 connected spaces. So this was from November 3rd. That's when they had their virtual Ignite conference. Mesh for Teams combines the mixed reality capabilities of Microsoft Mesh, which allows people in different physical locations to join collaborative and shared holographic experience with Teams, Microsoft's online meeting, chat, and collaboration product. I didn't know you could do holographic stuff in there, but interesting to know. Pretty soon we'll be on Star Trek. With Dynamics 365 Connected Spaces, formerly Dynamics 365 Connected Store, an organization can gather data about its physical spaces and gain insights from that data using artificial intelligence. For example, it could track foot traffic through a retail space, gauge interest in special displays, or reduce checkout lines in real time. In other words, they could follow you around the store and see what you're looking at. And I guess shove that into your face, I guess. The metaverse enables shared experiences across both the physical and digital worlds. Microsoft's corporate vice president for communications, Frank X. Shaw, explained in a company blog. As enterprises accelerate their digital transformation, the metaverse can help people meet up in a digital environment, make meetings more comfortable with the use of avatars, and facilitate creative collaboration from all around the world. So I guess we're all going to end up as avatars. Microsoft's announcement of its 2 new metaverse apps comes on the heels of Facebook announcing a name change to Meta, a sign that it sees building out the metaverse as the key to its future success. It's a hot topic, so Microsoft jumped on the attention that Meta, the company, has been getting, observed Bob O'Donnell, founder and chief analyst with Technalysis Research, a technology market research firm and consulting firm in Foster City, California. And this guy is very up on these things. Up until a few months ago, he had a vlog every week that I used to listen to and watch. But he kind of fell off, but he's very, very knowledgeable and knows what he's talking about. The ironic thing is that all this is happening just as we see people going back to the office, in which case the demand for some of this stuff is not going to be as big as it appears right now, he told Tech News World. That's true. People will find that going back to the office will address some of the issues this technology attempts to address, he said. Having said that, O'Donnell continued, there is no question that people will continue to look for hybrid solutions. In those situations where people are working remotely or in a hybrid environment, they'll want better collaboration tools. That's what Microsoft is offering. It kind of makes sense, I guess, especially for people that work at home a lot. I know almost all the people that I used to work with at Blue Cross, they've been working from home for a long time and expect to continue to do so. O'Donnell explained that Microsoft, through applications like Mesh for Teams and Dynamics 365 Connected Spaces, is saying there will be different types of metaverses. Okay, so this one, I guess, would be a business type. It's saying that you can do a lot more practical and business-focused things than just these crazy kinds of consumer applications. These tools give us a limited view of the metaverse, noted Rob Enderle, president and principal analyst at the Enderle Group, an advisory services firm in Bend, Oregon. This begins to give us an early sense of a small part of what the metaverse will be able to do, he told Tech News World. But this is like reviewing a book after just seeing one mostly complete chapter. That's true. To get a total sense of the metaverse, we'll need to wait until most of it is completed, and that is years off. That's true. We're in the very early stages of this. Michael Inoue, a principal analyst at ABI Research, agreed that the metaverse as a realized concept is still many years away. But as that future is approached, there are many ways a platform like Mesh for Teams can advance the cause. Digital assets and virtual goods, for example, will play a larger role in how users express themselves and represent their digital personas in places of work, he told Tech News World. We can consider the rise of NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, as an early indicator, along with virtual goods and cosmetics and gaming, that the marketplace is starting to view virtual items on a similar level as physical and real goods. That's true, because about 3 months ago, NFTs was what everybody was talking about. This is why many compare the metaverse to the internet, he observed. It will be the fabric that connects what are currently disparate experiences and applications together. Mesh for Teams is a very early, very crude manifestation of the nascent metaverse, maintained Darren Stewart, a research vice president at Gartner. Enabling people to interact in a semi-immersive environment is the most obvious aspect represented, but device independence is more important, he told Tech News World. That makes sense. So I guess this is how we'll look in the metaverse, or somewhat how we'll look. So this is a Teams meeting space from Microsoft. The ability to use any device or headset to access Mesh is the key characteristic that qualifies it to be a metaverse tool. That makes sense. The whole point of the metaverse is to evolve the internet into an immersive and inclusive environment. This requires a neutral playing field that allows platforms from multiple vendors and developers to interact seamlessly. That makes sense. In other words, you need to be able to use whatever technology you want to get onto the metaverse, phones, computers, whatever. At this point in time, entering the metaverse can be a problem too, because the headsets used to access it are uncomfortable if worn for long periods of time. Yeah, I guess you have to wear the virtual reality headset. Until Mesh for Teams and other mixed reality enablers are available in a form as convenient as normal reading glasses, applications like these and the metaverse as a whole will be little more than a tool for specialists and a novelty for general users. That's probably very true. Both Mesh for Teams and Dynamics 365 Connected Spaces have the potential to improve productivity and operational efficiencies in business. And my screen just went blank on me. Give me a sec here, folks. All right, give me a few seconds, folks. Every once in a while, my screen just goes wacky on me, and I just have to go back and put it back. Come on. Okay. All right, we're back. The benefit of working with products like Mesh is that they make people feel as if they are interacting in the same room, explained Wayne Kurtzman, Research Director for Social Communities and Collaboration at IDC. They see the same things and in real time. For training, onboarding, technical work, education, or just being in a meeting together, there is significantly greater and more authentic engagement. Inouye pointed out that Mesh for Teams kind of immersive collaboration has already proven its value in industries such as application engineering, manufacturing, and design, where teams can work on 3D projects simultaneously or in parallel. Yeah, but I was just thinking, having a big headset around your head and in your eyes, it's like if you're in a meeting, it's going to get old fast, I would think. This greatly improves efficiency, ensures greater accuracy, and allows companies to be more innovative. With Dynamics 365 Connected Spaces, businesses can get a better handle on the data being created by the numerous devices interconnected in the metaverse. It can help companies collect, organize, and analyze data, then implement changes and updates based on those results. So I guess everybody can kind of work on it as a team at the same time, sounds like. Companies may find ways to increase efficiencies, better target their customer base, and personalize their experiences, Inouye noted. This runs the gamut of applications and depends greatly on the industry and use cases, but regardless, if you're talking about video workflows, warehouse or retail locations, data will have a critical role in how organizations adapt to changing market demands and improve their operations. In announcing its metaverse tool so close to Facebook's refresh as Meta, Microsoft could be doing so with some risk. Unfortunately, the timing of the announcement just opposes the genuine potential of Mesh, with widespread criticism of Facebook's rebranding as Meta and its rollout of its own avatar-based presence platform. Enterprise leaders remain skeptical of Meta's approach, evincing concern about Facebook's commitment to security, privacy, and ethics. Okay, given the similarity of the two announcements, Microsoft may be painted with the same broad brush. Yo, Mark's in here.
Yo. What's up?
Good to have you here.
Hey, good to be here. How's my audio? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Good. Cool. What's up, chat? I see Ted was in there. I didn't want to give it away that I was on my way in.
Hey, Ted. You thought you could make it a night. Well, I guess you have a second thought now. That's all right. Mark is here in your
Yeah.
place.
He thought wrong.
Outside of the improvement, we won't even notice the difference.
And I mean, that's the opposite. I got way more hair than he does, so
That's
sure
true.
our fans will
Well,
like that.
I don't know if he's anything like me. He may choose to have it that way. I have a full head of hair. I just like my hair shaved.
Hardly anything Ted does is his choice. So
Ooh.
I know
Keep
these
the
things.
insults up. Maybe you'll get him to come in here anyway.
Yeah, maybe. I think so. I'll step. Let's see who we got. Eleanor, Brian, and Vince. What's up? What's up? And also the lurkers and the replay crew, because I know they're in the future.
I hope so.
There are future, but I guess does it still count as the past? That's a good question. We can talk about that more later.
I guess we'll have to ask a Time Lord like Doctor Who or somebody.
Yeah, right. Isn't that a trip?
Yeah,
it's a cap. By the time they see this, we might not even be around anymore. I don't know.
That's true.
And I mean, like, Mexico or Spain, somewhere else, Brazil.
And of course, I've been excited the last 2 weeks because there are 6 new episodes of Doctor Who airing every Sunday. Eleanor and I are both big Doctor Who fans, have been for many, many years. So.
Well, that's good. So there's 6 episodes left, and they're giving you guys one a week?
No, Doctor Who, the last 10 years, they do it very strange. It disappears for a while, and then it comes back with a Christmas one. But this time it's coming back with 6 episodes starting 2 weeks ago, this coming Sunday. So that means into December. I'm guessing they're going to run it up to Christmas because there's always been a Doctor Who Christmas episode.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, I got all excited about it, and I'm happy.
Well, that's good. As you should.
Yep. And I guess as a Google fanboy, that makes sense because Google is full of Doctor Who fans and their employees.
That's right. Well, I wouldn't know. I'm taking your word for
it. There's plenty of them, trust me. So I went through 2 stories. Well, you got the email. So I did the 2 metaverse stories because I figured, okay, everybody wants to talk about the metaverse. So I did those stories.
I like it being a surprise, but also, I'm not a big fan of reading, but
yes, that's okay.
That's legendary. Let's see here. Let me pull it up on my end and then you can.
Okay. Well, you're a DJ, so I can see why you wouldn't be a big fan of reading. You'd rather play it.
Yeah, music, right? Or here, listen to it. Yeah, maybe. If you can give me audio stories. They're doing that. I think as Apple News, I think there's certain, I guess like the larger publications, they also have like a button underneath where it says, listen to this story. I'm like, what?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Gonna read.
I listen to a lot of audio books, but I listen to a lot of kind of intellectual type audio books. I'm still educating myself.
So you're saying I'm dumb?
No, I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth, sucker.
Man, come on. Everyone heard you. Everyone heard what you said.
I just like to listen. There are certain intellectual authors who I like listening to their books since I don't have time to read them anymore.
This guy over here. Mm-hmm. Oh, you have them in the description too. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to read the next story? Or you want me to do it? The next
so you
story
did
about Qualcomm.
1, 2. Qualcomm. Are they the modem, right? Modems, and are they only modems? I forgot what they do.
No, they make the chips.
Processors. Okay.
Processors. Yeah, they're the processor people.
Yep. So I just clicked on.
Just because Apple and Google and Samsung don't need them anymore, they still exist.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't think that was possible.
So you want to read or you want me to read?
I'll try to grab this one. Is this the Snapdragon 898? Will probably be unveiled on February 30th. Okay, I'll go ahead and
let me share the screen first.
Make sure you zoom in for everyone who's watching on their Apple Watch.
Well, I've been sharing it bigger. Oh, there you go. There we go.
Or I mean, like you can still have us on the side and then just zoom in to the website. That should still keep us both in the stream and make the letters big.
I can try.
So go back to the view you were just in that had us both.
No, you still want to see us? I've been leaving myself out of the view when I'm showing.
But why? The people came for you, George.
And then now,
on the webpage now.
Has it occurred to you that they came from my voice? Remember, I was a singer for many years.
I wasn't there for those.
My voice is better than my face. Trust me.
Who told you that? It's the
I
negativity.
did. I
Oh,
did.
come on, man. You got to love yourself. Can you make it? Can you zoom in on that? On the story
I thought
itself?
I just did. Didn't I
website?
just make it bigger? Didn't that make it bigger?
No. Either Control Plus or zoom in. Like, I don't know if you have a trackpad, but trackpad
No,
should be able to
I'm-
pinch. Or
I'm
if you're using
using
a mouse.
Control Plus doesn't seem to be doing it, does it?
Hmm.
It's not
We got to
making
get
it
you a
bigger, right?
MacBook, George. Have Ted get you one.
Yeah, okay, yeah. If Ted buys me one, I'll take it.
He doesn't like them, so I'm sure he has no problem giving one away to you.
My whole screen is bigger. That's the problem. I don't want the whole screen to be bigger. I just want the story to be bigger.
Yeah, it looks the same over here on at least on my screen. I don't know what.
I don't know how to make the story itself. But, maybe over here. Wait, let me try over here.
Yeah.
See if I go here. There it is. Okay,
Got
I got it. Yeah. Okay.
And then center on the words that we're going to be reading, so they can read with us.
Yeah.
And then
I always leave it this way until we read the first line, and then I get rid of it. But all right, I'll get rid of it now. I'll put on read view, and that should get. There we go. Better.
Yeah, that's better for them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start.
Okay,
here we go.
Go for it.
Nothing is official or set in stone yet. So it's a fair assumption to make. Qualcomm recently published a page on its website revealing that its Tech Summit event will be held between November 30th and December 2nd, 2021. A big banner with a boat tracing an infinity sign in the water and a more to come soon text. That's about it. No extra info, no itinerary, no nothing as of the writing of this article.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
There's the
boat.
boat.
Cool picture. I thought that was an ad when I first looked at it. I was like, it is, but it's for the story.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. More to come soon. Still putting two and two together, rumors of the next flagship Snapdragon 898 have been floating around for some time now. In fact, some sources claim that the first phone to use the chipset will be the Xiaomi 12 and that it will launch by the end of the year. Seeing how keynotes typically take place on the first day of a convention, it's safe to assume that Snapdragon 898 will be detailed on November 30th or failing that, no later than December 2nd. Yep. And another photo. Look at that.
Yep.
Thanks to quite a few leaks, even including one of an actual unknown device running the Qualcomm SM8 450 chipset, otherwise known as a Snapdragon 898, we do already have a pretty good idea of its specs. It is expected to have a Prime AMR Cortex X2 CPU core running at 3 GHz, alongside 3 Cortex A710 based mid-cores clocked at 2.5 GHz, and finally 4 efficient Cortex A510 derived cores at 1 7900ths of a gigahertz.
Exactly.
And that's a lot.
They got the whole gamut going there. Well, they're spreading out the cost, because those are cheaper and cheaper as we went through.
And I thought Apple was bad with naming. Jeez. The GPU is said to be an Adreno 730, which between architectural improvements over the Adreno 660 and Samsung's 4nm manufacturing process might bring up to 20% performance improvement to the table. For connectivity, we expect an X65 5G modem with a theoretical maximum downlink speed of 10 gigabits per second.
Now, the thing that impresses me, they're going 4nm. We're really getting down there now.
Yeah, I think that's the end, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's the end.
So, as far as the 4nm, 5nm, I think this was it last year and this year's Apple is 5nm.
Yes.
And if I'm pretty sure that they were expected to go to 4 this year, but because they didn't, they're saying they might leapfrog 4 and go to 3 next year.
Really?
Did you hear anything about that? I'm asking.
I haven't heard that at all.
No. But that wouldn't be out of the norm for a company to, that technically fell behind to catch up again. Leapfrog, but like now be where they were supposed to be originally. Like,
well, this is all big due to supply chain shortage and the chips crap. Well, I have more stories about that coming along too.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's anything. Nothing new.
Yeah. Have you seen those photos of those ships that are just waiting on the coast of California over here?
Yeah, I've seen them all over the place.
Bureaucracy, right? It's like, why don't you just let them in? And like, what's the big why?
According to them, they haven't got enough employees to unload them.
It's also unwillingness to cooperate with whoever the local union heads or who's in charge here, and this and that guy, and this guy did me a favor, and I don't like this guy or that guy. So
see, you're out there. I'm over here.
They're
so you hear more about this than I do.
From what I was told is that because my dad follows this stuff, so he was like that if a certain someone is outside of their union or like that that union that they have there at that
Mhm.
specific dock, and this guy is like has the container and he's ready to put it on a truck, no one will go help him. No one will pull their truck up and receive
To unload it.
the
Wow.
they won't load with non-union people. And I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, so it's not just PlayStations and iPads and iPhones that are on these things. There's
There's
food and
cars.
essentials. Yeah, cars and car parts even.
Yeah.
Let's get even more essential than that. There's Targets and Walmarts that have empty shelves because of this crap. Like this is
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Exactly.
Why how and why they're allowed to do this it's incredible to see, really.
It is incredible. And DeSantis down in Florida is trying to get them, bring the ships over here, we'll get them unloaded. So who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I'm going to go to the next one. And that's going to be, remember Robinhood with all the what was the stuff with Robinhood? With all the GameStop stuff in the stock market?
No, I haven't heard about that. What's going on there?
That they had a big deal back, and it was on what do you call it? It was on Reddit that a big group was buying up all the GameStop stock, and Robinhood ended up shutting them off. They wouldn't sell them anymore, and it was a huge scandal.
That wasn't that in February, or they did it again?
Yes, no, yeah. But then now that this is going to be their very next embarrassment, and this one's even bigger.
And more people are going to pull out that. Well, isn't that what they're preventing? If they're not letting you execute these trades that you want to make for fear of not being able to cash them out or cover them, right? Cover those bets. Then what makes you think you're going to have any easier pulling your money out completely? Or I guess it should be easier, but
this one doesn't have to do with trades. Ever since they got out of that embarrassing situation, they've been trying to build and build and build, and this is not going to help because this is about a big time data breach. I gather the biggest data breach of all time, at least in history so far. So let me see if I can make it bigger. What did I do? I hit the wrong one.
It happens, man. If I had a nickel, I'll tell you.
Exactly. All right.
I don't know if she might be watching now, but the mother of my daughter Stephanie, oh boy, for every time I hit the wrong button, you know what I'm saying, George?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay. All right. This one is on Bloomberg.
All right.
Robinhood data breach nightmare hinged on customer service slip, which is kind of weird. All right, I'm going to go to reader view so we can get rid of some of these ads. Okay. Robinhood Markets Incorporated caught criticism last year for its shortcomings in customer support. After racing to staff up, the company has a new problem. A customer service representative mishap allowed a hacker to steal the personal information of about 7 million users. That's a lot of users.
Yep.
The Menlo Park, California-based brokerage app is reeling from its largest hack in its history with compromised private details about 1/3 of its users. A company statement said the November 3rd breach hinged on a phone call where the hacker duped a customer support staffer. It didn't provide details on how exactly the culprit gained entry. So somehow a hacker suckered some employee, and somehow that's how he got in to get all this crap. So I bet you that guy got fired in a hurry.
Yeah.
The intruder made off with email addresses of about 5 million Robinhood users, as well as full names for a separate group of about 2 million, and demanded an extortion payment. For some customers, even more personal data was exposed, including names, birth dates, and zip codes of about 310 people, and more extensive information belonged to a group of about 10. Financial services firms are huge targets because there are always new customers coming, a refresh of identities, a refresh of credentials, said Bob Brutus, chief data scientist at the cybersecurity firm Rapid7 Incorporated. Everyone talks about ransomware, but credentials and identities are still things being sold on the dark web and criminal forums. It's very valuable data. The episode is unfolding as Robinhood works to convince users, and watchful regulators that they can live up to the safety first mantra. Good luck with that. Its executives often repeat. The high profile breach shows that the path remains fraught as Robinhood expands rapidly. It also comes as a blow to the brokerage at a moment when it's angling to get users to entrust more of their financial lives to the app. Robinhood has a wait list for cryptocurrency wallets and plans to offer other products, including retirement accounts in the future. Yeah, I'm going to give them my retirement money.
If you get any.
Yeah, right. Robinhood said it believes no Social Security, bank account, or debit card numbers were exposed in the hack, nor that customers incurred financial losses this time. Yeah. It said it contained the breach, notified law enforcement and listed firm Mandiant Incorporated to investigate. Shares of Robinhood fell 3% to $36.85 at 10:24 a.m. This was 2 weeks ago. Mandiant chief, now this kills me. Mandiant Chief Technology Officer Charles Carmichael said Robinhood conducted a thorough investigation to assess the impact and that his firm expects the intruder to continue to target and extort other organizations. So he's saying Robinhood conducted a thorough investigation. He works for them. What else would he say? Come on.
Yeah. He wants to keep his job. Can you blame him?
Exactly. And listen to this. In a separate episode last year, almost 2,000 Robinhood accounts were compromised in a hacking spree where customer accounts were looted. Some complained there was no one available to call. So this is their third thing in like less than a year. The firm, which helped popularize free trading, went on a hiring binge for customer service staff, more than tripling the size in 2020. Well, obviously they didn't train them very well.
Yeah.
The brokerage opened offices in Arizona, Texas, and Colorado as part of its expansion. It unveiled round-the-clock phone support last month. Maybe they need to shut that down. Okay, so sounds like they hired a lot of people and just didn't train them properly. That's my impression.
Well, training costs money, time, and effort. So
yeah, and and it's going to cost your customers money if you keep this crap up.
Patient. No, just keep charging them. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all on auto pay, right?
Yeah, they're all suckers anyway, right?
Yeah.
There's a sucker born every minute.
There you go. See? Now you're thinking. and then what's the next thing they say? Let's go to lunch. Where are we going for lunch today, right?
Yeah.
Fancy offices. Man.
Well, my people will contact your people.
Yeah, right. And then we'll do lunch again tomorrow.
Exactly.
Brunch or something. If maybe I can page him to come in here. Actually, maybe it's better he's not in here. He used to be you remember Shark Fin, right? Shark Fin Tech. So he was former Wall Street guy, supposedly one of the good ones. I don't know.
Remember the name.
Yeah. He was. I think he was in a chat maybe a while back, or maybe you might have been in one of the other videos where they're all hanging out. He was running a clubhouse room for the first time that I've seen him actually.
Oh, he was
doing, yeah. So he's addicted to that platform, man. You know why? Because that guy never shuts up.
So he's still a mover and shaker, I gather.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess you can't take the Wall Street out of the guy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's supposedly retired, so we'll see. They all say that.
Well, I'm supposedly retired too.
I know. What are you doing? What's going on? You tell the IRS about all the super chats you get, all your ad revenue.
Oh, I so far, this may be the first year I actually have to report it.
Okay,
we'll see.
Okay, well,
yeah, I'm one of those. I'm one of those extremely honest, report every cent kind of guys. I had a buddy in Orlando and from New York that he's a tax guy, and he used to chew me out for being so honest. He says, "Oh, you can get away with this. You can get away with that." Of course, he's an expert, and I said, "I can't do that."
Yeah. Why wasn't he your tax guy?
He was my tax guy.
Oh, you made him your tax guy. Okay.
But when he did my taxes, well, he had to report everything honestly, which drove him crazy.
I guess it's optional to take the right. I mean, like, they're not going to tell you, hey, you should have, like, the IRS isn't going to say you qualified for all this stuff that you didn't select. You know what I mean? So they're not going to tell us.
But no, his thing was there are ways to cheat and they'll never be able to tell. And my answer to him always, maybe so, but God can tell, and he's watching me. That's always my answer. Yeah. So, okay, so next story. This one's about Uber.
Here we go.
You want to read it? You want me to do it?
Taking advantage of the disabled. Oh my God! You give me all these controversies. You give me the
Well,
backpack controversies.
I'll take it if you want.
No, I'll take the dislike one because that one.
Okay. All right. Wait. Let me make it bigger again.
Okay.
Now that I figured out how.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Whenever you're ready. This was on BBC News, but this story was all over the place. I just chose this particular one. Go for it.
Okay. I'll take this one after all.
Yes. Start with the heading though.
Uber sued by Justice Department for overcharging disabled people. That's not a good headline. I'll tell you right now.
Not.
The U.S. Justice Department, DOJ, suing ride-hailing app Uber over allegations it has been overcharging disabled people. The DOJ claims Uber's wait time fees are discriminating against disabled passengers who need more than 2 minutes to get into a car. It says Uber needs to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act, but Uber said wait time fees were not intended to apply to disabled riders and that it had been refunding fees. Kristen Clark, Assistant Attorney General for DOJ's Civil Rights Division, said the lawsuit aimed to send a powerful message that Uber cannot penalize passengers with disabilities simply because they need more time to get into a car. Uber and other companies that provide transportation services must ensure equal access for all people, including those with disabilities, she added.
Yep.
However, Uber said it disagreed that its policies were in violation of the ADA. A spokesman said the company had been in talks with the DOJ before the surpassing and disappointing lawsuit. Wait times were never intended for riders who are ready at their designated pickup location but need more time to get into the car, he said. Uber had a policy of refunding wait time fees for disabled riders whenever they alerted the firm that they had been charged, the spokesman said. After a recent change last week, now any rider who certifies they are disabled will have fees automatically waived. See, now that seems like some extra steps that shouldn't happen.
But my problem with they kept saying they always refunded that money. How hard would it be as a programmer to change the app so that if you're picking up a disabled person, you hit a button and they automatically don't get wait fees?
There it is.
That's not very difficult.
That's the one. Exactly.
So I'm on the DOJ side in this one. So wait, it gets worse as you read. Keep going.
Oh, come on. This guy. See what I deal with, everyone in the chat? Uber's disability issues. Uber began charging passengers for driver wait times in 2016. Man, that was a long time ago already.
Yeah.
Firm says riders are charged on average less than 60 cents and that wheelchair accessible trips or Uber assist trips do not have any wait time fees by default. It is not the first time that Uber has found itself in hot water over disability issues. In April, it was ordered to pay a blind woman in San Francisco $1.1 million after she was refused rides on 14 occasions. In the UK, Paralympic medalist Jack Hunter Spivey, hopefully I said it right, said in September that Uber and other taxi drivers regularly drove off when they saw that he was a wheelchair user.
And I could see where drivers would do that. They probably don't want patience. The hassle.
Right. Yeah.
What I think Uber needs to do in that case is give them big penalties, the driver, I mean, as soon as any customer calls and complains, said that somebody drove off and left them.
Yeah. A 2020 study by the University of Tennessee found that it takes 28% more income for a disabled person in the U.S. to achieve the same standard of living as a non-disabled person. Maria Town, president and chief executive of the American Association of People with Disabilities, who has cerebral palsy, told the BBC that disabled people often face a disproportionate economic burden, often as a result of realities they cannot change nor control. In addition to higher costs for healthcare, medical supplies, and accessibility tools, the practice of applying extra fees for services such as grocery delivery or rideshare wait times adds an additional tax for disabled consumers, she said. Ending the practice of charging wait time fees for disabled riders would be a step in the right direction toward economic equality and dignity, Ms. Town added. The AAPD said it had seen many cases where Uber drivers had driven away when they saw that the passenger was using a wheelchair, crutches, a walker, or a service dog. The presence of disability alone is sometimes not enough. Sometimes is enough, excuse me. It's a huge issue. Miss Town said, recalling an incident from 2017 concerning a man in Texas who had a genetic disorder that affected his appearance. She also said that it was unfair of Uber to expect disabled people to use only its wheelchair accessible services or Uber Assist. It's not fair on a number of fronts. There's a limited supply of these cars on the road, but also people with disabilities may not want assistance, she stressed. Forcing someone to take an assist ride could cause some tense driver-rider interactions that are completely unnecessary.
And see, that makes sense to me because you're going to get the ones who are very independent, who don't want specific help from many people.
Yeah,
But
it
I
could be
think
on us, right, to select, which type of ride would I like. I mean, I know that
Exactly.
with Uber, you can choose like a shared ride, an economical ride, a ride by yourself, a bigger
Okay.
car or a nicer car, or, a SUV or a limo, basically. And I would have, I mean, obviously I'm not being disabled, luckily, fortunate enough to me that I hadn't even thought about like the setting, or if it were there, I don't know if I would see it, but
Yeah, I had
like
never thought
exactly
about
how
it
you
either,
said,
so
to implement that option in the app. Hey, we have
Yeah.
all of these services and options and types of rides available. What would you like?
Yeah, exactly. And I got to agree with her. Yeah, they may have specific cars with driver assistance, but like she said, there's probably not many of those on the road at any given time. So,
Right.
I think the DOJ is totally on the right side here. And what I think the biggest thing that Uber needs to do is put big penalties on these drivers when they hear when somebody complains that they just drove right past them. I bet you that would cure it. Anyway, so I feel for them. I had never thought about that kind of story, and I hope they get it straightened out. I still think you could just put something in the app for when the driver shows up, it's a disabled person, they don't get charged any wait time. That wouldn't be very hard to program, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, exactly.
Just my opinion. Oh, Renz is in here. Yo, Renz. I know you're busy at work.
Okay. That guy has a job.
Oh, he has a job. He gets to work, and sometimes they just bury him in work.
Yeah, I remember. Some of the interactions that I've had with ride sharing in general, but both of the major ones, is where
you
they'll
mean Lyft and Uber. You mean?
Yeah, I never figured out exactly what happened in this one particular instance. If this drive, so basically, I never caught one of my rides, but this, like, they tell you, like, meet here and like walk to this location and then wait, right here, so they could pick you up like on a main road and have it be more streamlined, because it was the one of the ones where you're supposed to save money and jump in with a few other people. But this was obviously some years ago, and one of the times where I'm watching the car and like I either sometimes it's a little off, so you can't tell is this my ride or is that my ride.
Exactly, I can see that,
because you're looking at your phone and then you're like, well, is it which one of these is it
exactly?
And it had said my phone updated to my house to saying that it picked me up, saying that like, oh, we picked you up, welcome to your ride, your next stop, you're gonna get dropped off after this so and so person. And I'm like, what? Like, did they either someone else got into my Uber, like in my place, or
the driver lied.
The driver just said, yeah, sure, I picked him up, and then like they waited 10 seconds, 20 seconds, I don't see him, keep driving. Maybe they had two other people in the car and just kept going, and then showed that they went to at least he like drove by the house to sell it, right? And it's like, oh, how was your ride? And I'm like, dude, look at my location and my phone. I'm still in the same spot. Right. What do you mean? How? And then afterwards, after I submitted the report and all that, actually, I got to check to see what happened. I don't know if they refunded me or not. But
did they send? Oh, they never sent anybody else.
I don't think so. I had to like reorder another ride, but I have to double check this. I'm sure they save everything so I can see what ended up happening. But now I'm wondering, okay, how many people send other people into the Ubers for them? You know what I mean? Like say a friend needs a ride, and and okay, I'm gonna call the Uber for you, George, and then you get in the car and I stay, and then I wonder if there's people. I'm sure in
that case, if they said, okay, I picked them up, that they picked me up. So
yeah, Yeah, and I wonder how many people are trying to get pull one over on these ride sharing systems by getting a free ride. Hey, your guy never picked me up, but you wanted to get like I don't know how would you do
Well,
that? Pay for
people
one
are like
ride, but
that.
get picked up
Yeah.
twice,
Yeah.
so that you and a friend because I think they charge per head, right? So
I would think so, sure.
if you and a friend request a ride, you have to put how many people so the driver knows. Pick up 2 people, pick up 3 people.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's why they were a little suspicious. If it's easy to scam them or get one over on them, then that makes sense.
Brian has a comment. My client asked me why cabs always pass her to pick up someone else. My answer was because she's elderly, uses a walker, and is deaf. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, my guess is a lot of them, as soon as they see a walker, they're gone.
Yeah, they don't have the patience.
Yeah, like I'm thinking big penalties would be the answer to that.
Hey,
Tech for Your Needs is in here. Good to see you, brother.
Do you know his slogan? Say his catchphrase.
I don't know his catchphrase.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I think did I get it right, folks, or something? I forget how he says it. He says it better, obviously.
My problem is anytime I come into one of his streams, I usually catch it after he started, so I probably don't hear that.
Oh, you never hear his famous
exactly.
world famous Tech for Your Needs stream intro.
Okay, we're going to go on to
the most controversial of all, the one that affects everyone in this very stream.
Well, the one that affects us, that's for sure. Okay,
I don't care about it.
This one's on me. I don't think I do too, but
I'm too sensitive to not care. It's because I can't afford to care, George, because I'm too sensitive. Does that make sense?
I can understand that feeling.
My don't give a nothing attitude. It's a defense mechanism at the end of the day. Yeah.
I'm a Jersey guy from the 50s and 60s.
So you're tough.
Nobody's going to think that I'm sensitive. Trust me.
They didn't make me tough. Oh, you didn't let it be known that you were sensitive, or you weren't sensitive?
Oh no, I was sensitive in grammar school. I was the school punching bag for 8 years.
Oh man, and now you're.
But after 8 years, when I realized I could take whatever they could dish, all of a sudden, in their minds, I became the tough guy. So
gotcha.
So yeah, I'm not very sensitive, that's for sure. But I am a musician and a singer, so I obviously have some kind of sensitivity.
Of course, you're creative, right?
And I can still sing a love song, so there's some sensitivity there somewhere.
There you go. So that means your heart's been broken.
Once or twice, maybe.
There's this movie. If you haven't checked it out on Netflix, it's one of their in-house movies they made.
I've never seen any Netflix movie.
Oh my God! Why?
I won't pay for it
because
I'm too cheap.
Okay, if you had some sort of other like political or moral or ethical stance, then I'm
I'm just too cheap.
Okay,
I do not like monthly. I don't like monthly charges. Period. That's one reason I buy my phone straight up. I don't like monthly charges.
What a baller. Anyway, well, you know what? I wonder now. I wonder if Netflix licenses out their movies from their studios that they make. That's a good question. Now I have to look that up. But or you can maybe look up the trailer and get a little minute and a half for free. George,
what's the name of it?
Kodachrome, just like the film, the Kodak film.
Oh,
Kodachrome.
Like
and
Paul Simon's song Kodachrome.
I think they made a song of it too. So it's really good.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much.
I won't give none of it away, but photographer father.
He didn't make a song about the movie. He made a song about Kodachrome, which was Kodak's most famous film.
Yeah,
for years and years and years.
Really, really high end, top notch stuff. I'm sad I hadn't realized that
in the 50s and 60s and 70s.
Yeah. So in there, the father, he's legendary photographer. That's the only film that he used, made it popular, what have you. He says, no art worth a damn was made because the artist was happy. And I'm like, oh,
I disagree with that.
Oh,
I disagree. What about the good happy songs? There are some good happy songs. Somebody fell in love and found their lifelong love. You can write a happy song about that.
Some sound happy, but and I'm sure there's like the kind that you're mentioning, sure, but there are some where when you really stop and think or go over the lyrics, like, whoa, why does this song sound happier, but the lyrics are quite dark or
Oh
have
yeah,
undertone.
you know the song
Okay,
that always stuck out for me. What that was, if you like pina colada.
Oh yeah.
See, that's not a happy song to me.
Oh,
Yeah, they end up together, but they were both talking about cheating.
yeah. See, told you.
And
They try to
there's another one that's really sad. Oh,
they make it
what-
happy and easily digestible for mainstream
Yeah.
marketability, and then when you really
There's
get into it,
another
like,
big
whoa.
hit song from the 80s that was a big hit, and his mother cried like crazy when his father died. And I can't think of what that song was, but it was like a really sad song, but it was like a #1 hit.
Crazy.
Okay, I'm going to do the
Screen
article.
share my Bob.
Sharing the screen, and Brian is already commenting on it. First, let me share the screen.
Logan.
And Brian said, I did thumbs down first to test the article before thumbing up.
Nice.
You just have to have the proof, don't you, Brian? I love it.
Never trust anything.
Exactly. I got to see for myself. All right, let me make it bigger. Back over here.
Are you taking this one or am I taking this one?
I'm taking this one.
All right. You take it away, George.
All right, this was on CNET. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
was by Joan E. Saltzman. And we put on reader view.
I'm going to try to
Okay.
mess you up.
YouTube to remove all public dislike counts, aiming to defang harassment mobs.
Mhm.
YouTube is removing public dislike counts, the visible tallies of how many people click on thumbs down for a video. Google's video site, the largest source of online video on the planet with more than 2 billion monthly users, said the move is designed to impede dislike attack harassment campaigns. I didn't know they were. Makes sense, though. The change will start gradually rolling out Wednesday. This would have been 2 days ago. The dislike button itself is staying, so viewers can still dislike the videos to tune their recommendations and privately express displeasure with a video. Creators can also privately track the number of dislikes on their videos alongside all their private metrics, but the public count of dislikes will be gone soon. After experimenting earlier this year with changes to the dislike button, YouTube said it found that smaller creators and people just getting started are disproportionately the targets of dislike attacks. I wouldn't have thought of that. Makes sense, I guess. We heard during the experiment that some of you have used the public dislike count to help decide whether or not to watch a video. And I could see where that would hurt a small YouTuber. We know that you might not agree with this decision, but we believe that this is the right thing to do for the platform, YouTube said in a blog post Wednesday. It's the latest move by a tech giant tweaking a feature developed innocently years ago that has evolved into a destructive force for some people. Like and dislike counts have been cited by researchers not only as tools for harassment, but also as factors in how social media damages some users' mental health. They take it that seriously, huh? Wow.
So they say.
Yeah. Facebook and Instagram introduced the option for all users to hide public like counts earlier this year after a test starting in 2019. The same year, Twitter explored whether or not to obscure likes and retweets. I remember they talked about that. On Wednesday, YouTube said the removal of dislike counts was because the company wants to improve the inclusivity, respect, and safety of its service, calling it one of many steps we are taking to continue to protect creators from harassment. Our work is not done, and we'll continue to invest here, the company said. YouTube itself has the distinction of posting the most disliked video ever on YouTube. That's right, I remember that. Its 2018 YouTube Rewind, an erstwhile annual trend recap video, has nearly 221 million views and 19 million dislikes. I remember it was a big deal. Even the YouTube CEO, Susan Wojcicki's own children called it cringy. I remember that 2018, everybody hated that one. I remember that. And it was a really big deal. You know.
Is that why they do rewinds anymore?
Did they stop last year?
I think so.
Okay.
Or was this the first year that
they did one in 2019, but I don't know, maybe the
like was it YouTube Rewind or Tech Rewind, or does each
no,
like,
it's YouTube Rewind.
Okay.
But I remember that one in 2018. Even MKBHD had a big problem with it. and he's often in the rewinds for the year, of course.
Mm.
He just hit 15 million subscribers this week too.
Oh, hopefully he gets more. Hopefully he can bring that number up.
I think. Hey, he started doing this when he was 14.
Yeah.
And what is he, 26 or 27 now? I think he's earned everything he's gotten. So
Yeah, for sure. He's a really great channel.
and he went to one of the best technical schools in the country and graduated from there.
I got to check out that podcast. That's the newer channel, right? Is that the newest one?
Of his?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already have subscribed to it. I haven't even listened to the last two, I don't think.
I'm trying to remember what it's called. This is not a bit. I cannot remember. Waveform.
Waveform, yeah.
Podcast. Got it.
Yeah, I guess I subscribed to it as soon as it came out. So you hear that? An old man keeping up with stuff, huh? Does that shock you?
Well, that makes sense because they're often so far behind.
Ooh, you found a way to hit me back, didn't you?
You know what? I owe you for like a month.
Are you applauding you? You know it's tacky to applaud yourself, right?
Well, someone's got to do it.
What is it? Brian says, guess we can't get our Komodos on. I don't know this symbol. Do you know that symbol?
Which one?
The
The
end,
swords. The one at the end of that?
the swords. Oh, cross swords. Okay.
Yeah, cross swords, shield, thumbs down, and the death.
Yeah.
Skull and crossbones.
Crossbows, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty violent, Brian. If you need
Let's try to be more sensitive, Brian.
those are his senses. Hey, this guy just applauded himself.
That's true.
Boo this man.
That's very tacky.
Your own words. Come on.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, jeez.
All right, here's one for you that's not a sad or have any bad connotations, okay?
Okay, we'll see about that.
Okay. This one is on Engadget and it's shared. Let me make it bigger. Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right. Sony and TSMC attempt to address chip shortages with a factory in Japan. And there's a nice photo of Sony there. Yeah. Rumors of a Sony TSMC chip making partnership were true. Nikkei reports Sony and TSMC are teaming up to build a semiconductor factory in Kumamoto, Japan, that would tackle strong global market demand for specialized chips. That is, it would address chip shortages that have plagued everyone from car makers to phone brands, through to phone brands. The deal has TSMC creating a local subsidiary, Japan Advanced Semiconductor Manufacturing, where Sony will have a minority stake of roughly $500 million. Yeah. This fab wouldn't be used to make cutting-edge chips on 5nm and smaller processes. Instead, it would start out with 22nm and 28nm parts. That may sound outdated. Even Intel's 14nm CPUs have been around for several years, but they can be ideal for tasks where cost and reliability are more important than raw performance, like cars and industrial equipment. As with many chip shortage solutions, you won't notice the impact for a while. Sony and TSMC only expect to start construction of the factory sometime in 2022, and the plan won't start production until sometime before the end of 2024. The initial crunch that prompted the effort may have been solved by then. Nonetheless, this could help the tech industry keep up with demand and prevent a future crisis from hobbling whole economies. And that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I've been thinking for like a year, and like, why doesn't somebody at least start building a factory? So at least somebody is starting to build a factory, which is good.
Yeah, but their motives are probably for profit. These guys, you can't trust them. Anyone that it gets paid by anybody, you can't trust them.
Well, if it wasn't for profit, capitalism wouldn't exist, and
whenever
probably wouldn't have any money.
Yeah, let me save my piece, George.
Go ahead.
Anytime money is exchanged, it's tainted.
Well, anytime money's exchanged, usually I think what you have is worth me giving you this. So I see that as a win-win.
Mm-hmm. So bribery.
But I am very much a capitalist. So
that's true.
Now the thing that struck me in this, above everything else in this story, $500 million is a minority stake. That's like heavy duty, man.
These guys, they don't play by the same rules.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
What else?
interesting story. Anyway, so that's a fairly
That's
nice
fi-
story.
Finally, this guy gives me a nice,
Tur-
something that
turning
don't remind me how horrible the world. Although this one mentioned the chip shortage, and we talked about it.
Yes, but it mentioned the chip shortage and that. Hey, folks, here's hope for the future. Come on,
But
you
not-
gotta have the right
now.
attitude. A little sensitivity, please.
And not anytime soon. The future, though. So later, way later. Not right now. Not today.
It's
Tomorrow.
only 2
next week or
years
next month.
away. Come on.
Still screwed for Christmas. Did you remember how late people were getting Christmas presents last year?
No,
February.
you're kidding.
No, one of mine.
I didn't
One of
know
mine
that.
came. One of my own. It was a DJ speaker that I bought. I ordered it. I believe. I think it was released October, or
Okay.
announced October, November or so. It was
Okay.
made available because it was the higher end one. So the lower end ones were they waterfall them. Low, mid,
Right.
and then the higher ones, a couple weeks, and I didn't hear a peep after the order was, submitted and the payments were all set up and all that, and November ended, then December ended, and then January ended, and just the first week, it should be here by the 8th of February or the 12th. I can still look it up probably, but
Wow.
point being that
hadn't-
this thing,
And a lot of people had to deal with that.
4 months.
Okay.
4 months. I mean,
Yeah.
in case anyone still needs to get gifts, you should have got them yesterday or last week or last month. So
That's probably
The-
true
the-
this year in particular.
the sooner the better, man. I mean, it's the 12th right now today at the time of this recording. Christmas is in what, 4 weeks? No, 6. Well,
Six.
shopping is going to be, it's already there's Black Friday deals already today.
Oh yeah.
Last week.
Next week I'll be putting some Black Friday deals up on for the show.
Yeah, crazy.
Let me recognize Stephanie B. Hello, Stephanie. Glad to have
She
you in
came.
here.
And thanks, Brian. Yep, better half of the pineapple. That's right. Yeah. Sometimes she feeds me chips. So
Sometimes
yeah, sometimes we got a good thing going.
I guess that's a very good thing.
I love chips. That's how we can become friends.
With
You know
or
what
without,
else-
with or without salsa.
Oh man, yeah, all of them. Yes,
Okay.
if it's chips, man. But that's the better kind, right? The cantina. You're talking about cantina, where they bring you a basket of chips and the salsa
Yeah.
side. Yeah. Oh, that's killer. Yeah. But I mean, my favorite. You've known my favorite. Here, look at this.
Oh, that's
that-
right. You showed it before. That's true.
The hot Cheetos. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's got a little pin. I think someone from Etsy made it. Oh, that's me.
I was over at Eleanor's house 3 or 4 days ago, and she just threw together some chips and cheese and salsa and microwaved it, and wow, it was
Oh
good.
man, okay, like a smothered nachos or something, smothered chips.
I don't usually eat stuff like that, but it was really good. And I told
all
her
the
so.
flavor, the
Yeah.
flavor was in there. Good, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she said, "Well, you can make it for yourself." So
It tastes better when you
well,
make it.
Well, was only 3 things in there, so I probably
Well,
could make it. So
You got to make the 3 things.
that's true. That's true.
So
But I'm like you. I do like chips. I always have a lot of chips in the house. So I guess I'm just a chip off the old block. Oh,
yep.
thank
And
you.
it's so convenient. There's something liberating about where you can just grab, one
You
hand.
just grab them, open them, and get. Yeah, you can do it with one hand and be doing something completely different. That's true.
Mhm, there it is. Yeah, man. Freedom food.
So see now we've improved the mood of the whole broadcast, making us both very chipper. Okay.
Right. Wait, are you gonna take us down a notch? I'm scared now.
No.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
we're going.
Here it comes.
The last story is going to be about supply chain issues.
Oh no. Someone in chat, come and take my spot.
Well, I say I don't use this stuff. I mean, I'm not a. Wait a minute.
I'll send you guys the link.
Let me stop sharing and let me try sharing again. Every once in a while, I get that flashing. I don't know what that's about. All right, share it again. There we go. All right, this one's on me. And this one's on The Verge. Haha, you thought I wasn't going to have a Verge story, but I did.
Mhm.
Okay. This is on The Verge. And Steam Deck launch will be delayed by 2 months.
Oh.
For all you Steam Deck fans, just have a little patience. But he said 2 months. So Mark is saying this happened last year in February. So
Yeah.
you'll be getting it February again. So
That's crazy.
Mark, you're predicting the future. All right, let me go to
I lived it. That's fine.
let me go to read a review.
Crazy.
Okay. All right, this is by Jay Peters. Valve is delaying the launch of the Steam Deck, its handheld gaming PC, by 2 months. The Steam Deck had been set to launch in December, but Valve now estimates that the first orders will start shipping in February 2022. We're sorry about this. I like the fact that they were so upfront and honest about it, which most companies aren't.
No, they're not. I didn't hear anything from, and this company, I'll say, I still love the company, but Bose.
Yeah.
It was from Bose. They're
okay.
no.
Yeah. See, most companies won't say anything about it. They won't
Yeah.
even admit to
Or,
chip shortages. But I think it's good.
I had ordered it through Guitar Center, so neither Bose, which was technically the manufacturer and the vendor through Guitar Center, and neither them nor Guitar Center they're just like nothing yet. Like, no, I don't know. Your order's in. You have your order. Don't worry.
Tell us the truth. So I like this story for that. We're sorry about this. We did our best to work around the global supply chain issues, but due to material shortages, components aren't reaching our manufacturing facilities in time for us to meet our initial launch dates, Valve said in a blog post. One editor at The Verge is now seeing a Q1 2022 estimated ship date for a Steam Deck reservation that was originally slated for the December launch window. Another is seeing a Q2 2022 estimated ship date for an order that was initially going to arrive in Q1. Both placed their reservation on the very first day that Valve opened pre-orders, and they're showing here. Valve is still showing after Q2 2022 for new orders, the same as it showed yesterday, but the initial shipments have been bumped, and you can see expect availability after Q2. So the global supply chain shortage has a massive impact on the technology industry. Next-gen consoles and NVIDIA 30 series graphics cards have been famously difficult to buy for going on a year. BMW said last week that some cars won't have touchscreens. That's a big deal because of chip shortages. And even Apple has felt the sting, saying that it lost $6 billion to supply chain constraints in its most recent quarter. While we did our best to account for the global supply chain issues, by which we mean we factored in extra time to account for those risks and worked with multiple component vendors, our manufacturing plans were still impacted, Valve said in the Steam Deck fact. Material shortages and delays meant that components weren't making it to our manufacturing facilities on time. Missing parts along with logistical challenges means delayed Steam Deck, so we needed to push out shipping by 2 months to February. Chip shortages aren't the only thing Valve is squaring away before the Steam Deck's launch. It's also trying to ensure developers flip any necessary switches and make any necessary modifications to ensure their Windows games run on the Linux handheld. A Proton compatibility layer does most of the heavy lifting, but online multiplayer games sometimes come with anti-cheat software that historically don't work well with Proton, and games may want to embrace the Deck's touchscreen, joysticks, and buttons as well. Valve introduced a verified program last month for games that work well on Deck and has worked with top anti-cheat platforms, Easy Anti-Cheat and BattleEye, to enable support. EAC owner Epic Games says flipping on support takes just a few clicks on the developer end. Valve says BattleEye is as easy as sending an email. Despite that, some top Steam game developers have yet to be willing to voice support. And that's always, they're so dependent on the developers in this stuff. It's like they're being held hostage almost. Valve is holding a virtual developer event on Friday for the Steam Deck, sharing best practices and answering developer questions. I guess that was today. The company already sent out early Steam Deck units to developers a month ago. Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for them in that because, if you get making it something that's easy for developers to make a quick change to and they won't do it, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. Everyone's hurting.
Yeah, exactly. So glad I'm not a developer. So
Did
that was my last story.
Did you order one? Were you going to grab one of these steaming pile of Steam Decks?
I don't do games. I don't do the only game I play anymore is Asphalt 9, and I play that on phones.
Whose ass's fault? What?
Oh,
Hold on. Might be my headphones.
You have to keep in mind my absolute favorite sports are both racing sports. One is Formula One racing, one is IndyCar racing.
Oh, I thought you were
Everything
gonna say running your mouth.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very
No.
much. You're in rare form tonight.
Yeah.
Now, I wish Ted was here so I could deflect some of this.
Yeah, right. There's no there's no other guy. We need the other
I got to
guy.
deal with all of it. That's
Other
okay.
dude.
Okay. I said I wasn't sensitive. Now you're making me prove it, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Man, who let's see. When was the last time? What's the last guest that you've had? Was that the one where it was all three of us?
Yes, you and Oscar. And
Oh no, was Oscar here? He joined late.
yeah. Oscar
No,
came,
did he beat me?
he came in very what's his
He
name?
beat me. I think he beat me. Oh, that was it. I thought about the one with your device and Jay.
Yeah, but they're not guests. The three of
Before?
us started Friday Night Tech Talk 4 years
Okay,
ago.
okay. So that was the last. Yeah, I keep forgetting to after a guest stream, where I'm a guest on someone else's stream, I just go and do whatever I had, whatever else I was gonna do. I forget to add to the my guest streams playlist. So I'm gonna have to look to see when the last one that I added was, and then if you can remember which ones I was on yours, so I can add them on that. I don't know if anyone clicks on that or watches it. I don't think so. But I would like to have it so that it's like the archived of.
It can't hurt.
Here's all the
thing is,
streams
I never numbered any of ours like a lot of people do.
We'll have to just guess, right?
We're like 4.5 years in on this thing,
Yeah.
and I don't think we ever missed a Friday in that whole time ever. Even when I was traveling, I was able to get on from hotel rooms.
That's a really great use of a Friday night.
Hey, it's kind of what I'm an old man. What do you expect?
To boogie?
And I go out on Saturday night to dinner with Eleanor, really.
So no boogieing? You don't take her out to dance after the dinner or drive-ins or a movie?
Would that I could, but in all the years Eleanor and I were married, we were the opposite of most couples because I'm the one who will drag her on the dance floor. I love to dance. And she says I'm a terrible show-off. I just love to dance.
You've got 2 left feet and right feet, huh? 2 and 2.
I can get down a little bit when I have to. I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, let me do glowing rectangles before I forget. Ted won't forgive me.
Let's do it.
So, all right, I'm going to share glowing. You want to talk about it? You want me to talk about it?
Who started that? I only barely found out of it maybe like within the last month.
Ted is the one who started it, but it's become a part of the show, and it's always the last thing we do on the show.
I thought some gadget guy started it.
Oh yeah. Juan Bagnell. It belongs to him. He started it.
Okay, so it wasn't Ted. You just said
I
Ted
thought you meant who started on the stream.
Oh,
here.
the segment. Segment? No. Yeah, the actual the
it's
site.
definitely Juan's thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Juan is just to me a brilliant, nice guy.
Oh, that we have opposing thoughts on that then, you and I. He could be watching right now. He could be.
I even bought his book 4 years ago about taking photographs with your phone. Yeah, he wrote a book about it.
I think he had a book written about it and then signed it.
Oh,
what do they call it?
I hope he gets you.
Dictated. No, he'll get me. He'll get me, sir.
All right, folks. Here we're at the end of the show, and here we are talking about glowing rectangles on Reddit.com, because this is, as we said, Juan Bagnell, some gadget guy, started this, and it was to give some exposure, especially to smaller YouTubers and/or bloggers, so anyone can post something here, and you go to Reddit.com/r/glowing rectangles. And as you can see, a place to talk about all the best toys. Now, if you go there and you click on top, it'll show you what got voted up the most for that day. So today it was the Motorola Razr 5G camera from Unnamed Review. So he's got 3 votes. That's unusual for it to be that little. The second one is always an ad. And I'll bet you Ted put that there. Ted told me he puts all my videos there. So unnamed review and I are the top guys for that's a first for me. Anyway, that's the one I did today because when I did my first Pixel 6 Pro video, it looked weird to me on the rear videos, and I'm like, what's wrong? And I finally figured out I had cleaned the camera lens before I went, but I must have touched it or something in the car because it didn't look right. So I did another one today, and it came out much, much better. So anyway, I'm second. That makes me pleased. My sensitivity is satisfied.
Oh, okay.
And then third, another one. We all have three. The Best of Chromebooks 2021 by Chrome Unboxed. So anyway, anybody can go here and post. Go to reddit.com/all going rectangles, and you can post any video by yourself, by anybody else, or any blog by yourself or anybody else. If you want to get them a little exposure, this is a good place to do it. So you can thank some gadget guy for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's got a good sense of humor, and we mostly get along when he leaves Apple alone.
Hey, who else volunteered to send me a phone to use for a month for nothing? He just, out of the blue, just sent me a phone to use for a month, which I thought was really nice.
He's up to something. Be ready. How long has it been? So be ready for that.
Okay.
You know that.
It's been about 2 months since I sent it back.
Yeah, right. Okay. So within the next month, is my guess. Okay. Just in time for Christmas, he'll call. Your phone's gonna ring. Watch.
I should expect the big shot to come.
Hey, George. Right? Hey, George, it's Juan Bagnell, some gadget guy. Remember that phone that I lent you that you liked? Made a video about.
I made a few videos about. Actually,
you didn't make. You did? You didn't?
Yeah, I did. I made.
You did? Yeah. See, he's got, and you fell for it. He's got you good. You owe some gadget guy now.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised because everybody's always talking about conspiracy theorists. I guess you just joined.
Oh, you're fine.
Anyway, all right. That's the end of the show for tonight. And boy, it was much more successful with you in it. Even though you like to pick on old folks, it's okay. You know.
Come on. You guys are easy targets. What can I say?
Just because I say I'm not sensitive, you have to make me prove it. Okay, then I'll prove it, sucker.
we need to be accountable for what we say.
True.
We need to say what we mean and mean what we say.
That's right.
Oh, here we go. Brian's asking, would you get a Pixel pineapples? My reflex is to say no, but I think I've mentioned even on this stream before with you and Ted that
yes, you have.
That this year's they look again. I haven't like gone hands on or seen them in person, but just from even photos and videos, they look pretty sweet. That gold specifically,
amazing. It's amazing, and I love Magic Eraser. I love
I've seen it in action. That's impressive for sure. Impressive.
I did one video on it, but then I didn't realize that Samsung had that feature too, which I have.
They call it something else, probably, right? And
yeah.
I would go after to answer Brian's question. The Pixel 6 Pro in gold. That's the one I would get. I know they call it sometimes the sun is out.
Speaking of which, how many times did Mike and I say Will would get one? Will got one.
Oh, whoa! He actually got one.
He sent me a text. He sent me a text. He says, "How you liking the 6 Pro?" So I told him how much I loved it. The next day, he had one.
How is he? I don't know much about him. Is he Apple or Samsung or something? Who do you see?
He has been a Pixel guy for years, but he went totally Apple about 2 years ago.
But he's against. He's
against a lot of the stuff Google does, and like many of us, he hates the fact that Google brings something and then gets rid of it, and then brings something and gets rid of it. You know, he thinks they share too much.
The App Store,
their other phones.
The Apple App Store, wasn't that a big discussion on one of the last shows?
I don't remember, but yeah, his biggest love of Apple is the fact that you get the updates for so many years. You know?
Yeah, support for long, and even without that, there's like, okay, I don't know where I would take a Samsung or Pixel phone, a Samsung or Google phone, let alone a Xiaomi or a OnePlus phone. when I have a problem, I go to any mall that there is over here where I am, California,
Right.
and I can go to an Apple store and be seen by a Genius Bar like that.
And that's
you know,
true. You can
or
with
mail
Google,
it,
you can only do that in California and New
or
York.
I can actually text Apple now through write an iMessage and just tell them, hey, here's the problem I'm having. Maybe they'll do like a remote diagnostics. They could take over the
That's cool.
screen. Yeah, there's all sorts. That's sort of like
I think Google will do some of that. I mean, you could probably do an online chat and get them to.
But where's the closest Google stores?
No, the closest Google store to me is about 800 miles away.
There you go.
New York.
Why?
Well, keep in mind, they didn't start opening Google stores. And 2 years ago was the first one opened?
That's their problem, not mine.
I wish they'd put one in Atlanta. I can get to Atlanta in 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's an all-day thing. If, heaven forbid, you need someone to take a look, they say, bring your phone in. Or mail it and be without it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what they want you. That's generally what they've been doing in the past. Generally, is mailing it. But anyway, hopefully they'll open some more brick and mortar places, and I'll be able to get to one. If they put one in Atlanta or even Knoxville, which is even closer to me, I'd be very happy.
Where's the closest Apple store to you?
Well, the closest Apple store is in Knoxville, also, which is 80 miles away. But there is what's the Mac? So the Mac store that you see in malls, that we have one of those in Chattanooga. It's some kind of Mac something.
So I know Best Buys have an Apple section.
Yeah, and they also have a Google section.
But that's not
this is I can't remember the name of the store. When we go to our mall, if you go into the food court, the first store you pass has nothing but Apple products. But I can't remember the name of it. It's not officially an Apple store though.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, when I had to get one of my iPhones fixed, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, that's where I went, and they helped me fix it.
Good. It's good to have. Right. Again, that support is going to go a long way with. I mean, I want it as a demanding tech enthusiast, right? But and imagine the regular people who don't care about the refresh rate or all the stuff that we do care about, and you tell them, oh, you're going to need to send your phone in because there's no store around you, for hours.
Yeah. Wait, Brian's got some comments here,
and you'll be
I think Brian lives in New York. I think he went to the Google store, and you answered him. He said fairly ordinary.
Jinx.
No one answers the phone.
I got you good.
Wanted to see if they had the Pixel 6 Pro in white.
You mean Stormtrooper?
Stormtrooper.
I think that's what they've been calling it, right? Or Stormtrooper. And then
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Just Star Wars nerds, all these geeks and nerds, they had to turn everything into everything.
Okay, well, Star Wars is my second favorite series of films because the Avengers is my first.
I gotta stay sharp on my toe. So I gotta dislike what everyone likes.
Thank you very
balance.
Much.
Yeah.
Always the contrarian, aren't you?
There you go. That's the word. Coffee Talk and Tech, I think, also on their live stream. John and Smith, Ryan and Smith, Smithinsky, I call them. There's like,
contrarian also.
I like that word. I'm like, that's the one. That's the one. That's what I am. Yeah, contrarian for balance. I mean, if you were being overly negative, then
to have the other way, you'd be
have the
Mr.
contrast.
Cheerful.
Yeah, that way, and that does two things. One, that kind of wash my hands with it, but also would make you look worse by comparison, right? Or in this way, to where I'm in this role, you look hopefully better by this is your chapter.
You want to write a book, Mark the Contrarian.
A contrarian's memoir.
Yeah,
something like that. Or I guess if you write it, it's not a.
What is Ren saying? Bought the iPad Mini 2021. Oh, cool for you. Very nice.
Hey, there you go.
You buy nice presents, Renz. I like it.
Does your kid like jellies?
You want to send me anything for free? Feel free. I'll give you my address.
You like the jelly scrolling there with that? Probably doesn't notice it, huh, Renz? You don't notice it? It's not. I don't think it was. It's exactly that thing to the placebo, right? It's like if you never would have noticed it, you never would have noticed. You know what I mean? Because
it's the kind of thing you have to know it's there, and then you start noticing.
You can't unsee it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's going to do it for this weekend, everybody. Big kudos to Mark for coming in. He always makes it better. I almost started singing "Nobody Does It Better," but I'm not singing that to you. Okay, so thanks to everybody for coming in. Thanks, Brian, as always, and I'll see you next week. Next week, I will come up with some Black Friday deals, and we'll see if we can get them by February.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right, folks. I hope everybody has a blessed weekend, and I'll see you next week. And I'm going to hit the button now.